Okay.
Hello, hello. Welcome to our MACM Make a Culture Move podcast. I don't know why I mess up, but where we cover everything from social trends to funny social topics. We are your host, Mark Jonathan.
Tabitha by Israel.
And G. That's all y'all getting.
Yes, hopefully you guys have noticed that we've been mixing in G into our podcast. And you might have noticed as well, we also don't have Janice. She is with us in spirit, though. And we appreciate her contributions, and we'll definitely have her on the podcast a later time. Okay. But yes, hopefully, God willing.
Y'all, she's a whole CNA now. She's a healthcare professional.
Yeah, she's doing her thing, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, we applaud. But just to give a brief disclaimer, here on our MACM podcast, we do not share the. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here on the MACM podcast, we cover a lot of controversial issues that don't represent MACM as a whole. And so as we dig into our podcast, we hope that, you don't hold MACM responsible for anything that we say, because again, we do cover a lot of controversial topics. So the first thing that we're going to start off with, we definitely are going to talk about Lil Rodney. Lil Rodney.
Yeah.
Lil Rodney. And this is going to be brought to y'all by G. So let's get
this is not what I wanted to talk about first, but we can go ahead and cover it off. So if you want to go ahead and bring up the first YouTube video of Lil Rodney.
Lil Rodney. Okay, let's get into that YouTube video.
Lil Rodney is a 12-year-old rapper from Fort Worth, Texas, y'all.
Have to try Monday.com. Monday.com is a platform to
clarify.
I didn't know who Lil Rodney was. I was like, who is that?
I thought it was one of those things like everybody knew.
Oh no, y'all! This is a baby. This is a baby boy. He's wild out here in the streets. His nickname is 30 Shots, and he was just sentenced to 7 years in juvenile prison.
Woo!
Oh wait, I think I do know who you're talking about.
I don't know Lil Rodney. I gotta put me on
yes. So
let me get into this tab. But y'all, this is about to be some crazy stuff. So your discretion is always advised.
Always.
Yeah, so here we go. Uh-oh.
Get out, man. All right. So
y'all see this boy?
Comment section pretty much saying, why you don't report on the baby savage no more? Well, I got something for you. For those new to the channel, we got a 12-year-old baby savage by the name of Lil Rodney. Lil Rodney was previously known for chasing his ops down and catching a fade, and also staying with the 9mm, the AKs, and the bazookas. The baby savage finally got his ankle monitor taken off, and he's off probation, so you know what's about to go down. The 12-year-old baby savage Lil Rodney been working on his music. He said he wants to be the next big star, bigger than Chief Keef. And you know, if him doing music is gonna keep him out of trouble, I'ma help him out with it. Now y'all let me know if the baby savage got some.
Okay, you can stop it, Tab.
Okay, little baby savage.
Little baby savage. That was just a little introduction as to who he is, kind of, sort of. But go ahead and play that second clip. And y'all, this clip that's about to be played is his Zoom court appearance.
Court appearances on Zoom now?
Court appearances on Zoom. The pandemic, y'all, coronavirus got it out here like that. So yeah, this is, and I encourage you guys to watch the full video on your own, but we just gonna play a little snippet from the video to kind of show y'all what exactly he some of the things that he does in his free time as a juvenile boy, and he's being now sentenced to 7 years in juvenile prison. Hey, Janice.
Ooh, hey, Janice. Okay, let's get into this. Wait, is this the right video? Yes, it is. Outrageous. Okay. Woo.
105.
Yes, sir. You do have a right to remain silent, person. And then, all right. So you were here you're on probation for arson. and that is from 2019. And then we've had all kinds of problems. Most recently, I let you go. You come in and out. I've always let you go because you're so young. I mean, you're 11 years old, right? So I didn't want to keep an 11-year-old in here. But every time I let you out, you just cut off your electron monitor. You come back. Yes, sir?
This time I cut it because I was on the phone with my...
Please don't say anything, okay? Don't say that right now. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So, all right. So you keep on running away. We keep on getting you back in here, make you stay a couple days. You promise me you're not going to cut it off. I think you cried a couple times about coming back here. And then this last time we let you out, Mr. Spence, when was the last time we let him out?
He cut his monitor on 8/14 of this year and ran.
Okay, so about 6 weeks ago, cut off his monitor and ran. You know, you promised me you wouldn't. All right. So now there is evidently a new charge that was filed relating back to April. That's the one where you shot the 1-year-old?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Like a 1-year-old baby?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so he's on probation for arson. He's accused of shooting a baby at 11 years old. And then we bring him back in. He's been on the run, and he's smoking weed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything else I'm missing about him?
Nope, that's about it, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Moore. Hey, look what I found. Right?
Wow.
I know 11-year-olds are supposed to have guns. Right? After they've been accused of shooting a baby. Right?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Moore, what?
Woo! Wildin'.
Yeah. This 11, okay, mind, so he just turned 14 a few days before his court appearance, I guess was his birthday or whatever. I mean, so he just turned 12, sorry, excuse me. He just turned 12 a few days before his court appearance. But the crimes that are being brought against him, he committed at 11 or younger. Did y'all hear what the judge said? He shot a baby, a 1-year-old. He shot a 1-year-old baby.
Man.
And so, like, when you watch the whole video, you know, you hear the judge saying, and you'll see Lil Rodney, I mean, he breaks down in tears and everything and starts crying. And, you know, the judge tells him, like, you know, you cry every time. The first time you cried, I thought it was real sincere. And I thought you know, were really genuine about your feelings. But you cry every single time you come in here. So now I just think that you cry because you're a child, which he's a kid. He's a kid. He's 12 years old, you know, he's still a young boy. But when looking at that video, he had his grandfather on there with him, which I'm assuming is his guardian or parent. And some of the things that they talk about in his video is, I mean, in that video is bad. Like, so he explains why he cut off his ankle monitor. And he said he cut off his ankle monitor because he wanted to go to his friend's funeral. And he couldn't go to the funeral because he was on ankle, and that's why he had cut it off. And after cutting off his ankle monitor, so they said that he did this August 14th of this year, and he had been on the run since. He had cut off his monitor. And honestly, y'all, like, this is one of the save our children things. Like, this correlates with that. This is a save our children. You know, the judge said that he had let him go times before because he was a child, but that's not the right thing to do
At all.
Take help for that baby. He obviously needs help. The parents raising that boy obviously need help doing it because there's no change. Why does he have all them guns?
I just want to say, dude, I don't even, at this point, this little boy, somebody needs to rebuke, like, correct him hard. And I think jail time, as sad as it seems, he needs to see the repercussions for the stuff that he's doing. I had to write it down because I'm like, this is crazy. So imagine they don't send him to jail and he gets older and he's out here wilding out how he's wilding out right now. And then, you know, what's going to happen? He's going to get worse. Imagine he's a little monster at the age of 12. He's been a monster. His parents or his grandfather, whoever his guardian is, isn't doing a good job. But, you know, it's just sad. But one thing I said, he was crying when he got arrested. They gave him a slap on the wrist. And then he shot a 1-year-old. He got charged with arson, and he's on the run. He's smoking weed. Smoking weed at the age of 12. I know people that started younger than that, but it's just like damn, where's the village at? Like Gadiel said over here. Where's the village at? James Douglas said, obviously, shake my damn head. That's a damn shame. Because people ain't whooping their kids.
Because people ain't whooping their kids no more. Whoop your kids. Whoop your kids. Whoop your kids. It's biblical. You don't have to abuse your child and hurt your child and bruise them to where they have bruises and scars on their body, but beat their ass with a belt or a switch and send them on their way and make sure they know not to do the bad things that they're doing because it's wrong. Because in the real world, if he wasn't 11 years old and he committed these crimes at say 15, 16, 17,
you're doing adult time.
You get adult time.
And
you get adult
time. Boys.
Yes, like it's man.
I'm just like, get it together.
Y'all, I was so shook. I was just so shook. And then when the judge said that he had let him go times before, like, where's the help? What are you doing to help this? What are you doing to help the child? What are you doing to help the child? You're not helping the child. You're not helping them babies. And then now let's look at this. Everybody on that Zoom call, he was the only one of color. I mean, the judge was Mexican, so Hispanic, Latino, but everybody else there was white. You know, he's not gonna get the best guidance from them because he's not gonna receive it. He's obviously not receiving it from the people taking care of him.
Right.
That's a solid point, but I don't know. I hardly view him like, sure, he's 12, but like, nah, he's making grown people decisions for sure.
Yes.
To freaking cut off his ankle monitor is definitely something you have to put some effort to. I don't know.
Yes.
If anybody knows to cut off an ankle monitor, you feel me? And he was carrying like sticks. He was carrying guns. He wasn't carrying no like.
They're the same size as him. The guns he got is the same size as him.
Same size as him. I don't know. Ultimately, it's like you guys were saying. There's obviously a breakdown in the parenting, you know, who's raising him, the things he is around. And of course, the system that he's now in isn't going to help him. There definitely should have been some form of rehabilitation early because it looked like Jit been wild. Like you guys were saying, like, it looked like 6 years old already.
Oh my gosh, y'all. That's why I just encourage y'all, go watch the full video on Lil Rodney. Watch the full thing. It's like 12 minutes long. Yes, Janice. Where did he get the guns?
White people.
Where did he get the guns?
White people. But they do put the guns in our hood.
They do put the guns in our hood. And then you have people who are getting the guns for him. Like, y'all all are wrong. Y'all are all wrong. Everybody involved with his situation is wrong because y'all are not bettering him.
He got a whole chopper though. Like, that's stuff you see in wartime. That's gotta be the white people that put.
But see, this is a good comment. I like this comment because James Douglas said, "You're doing an amazing job of breaking down what he's done wrong, focusing on the problems. What's the solution outside of whooping him?
Hey.
How do you get him actual help?" I don't.
He has to want it.
Outside of whooping him.
Outside of beating him.
He has to want it. One thing with the Black community is that, you know, therapy is offered, but it's not often or accepted or received. We don't really believe in therapy, but in a situation like his, he needs it. He's 12 years old. He needs somebody who is giving him the attention he deserves. All children deserve attention, and he needs a lot more than some other kids right now. And he needs a therapist. He needs somebody who is willing to actually take the time and get to know him and break down his flaws and help him to learn who he is as a Black young king. He doesn't know who he is as a Black young king, and obviously nobody is teaching him that he is a Black young king.
Yeah, so there's some solutions here that I think are really good. So Janice said, you're right, James. You said he's too young to want it or to want change. He's a kid. He doesn't know better because he's not taught. He's not being taught better. Exactly. It falls back on the parents. And she said, move away from that state. Take him out of that environment. He needs to have structure, a foundation, a routine. Exactly. He needs a routine. Obviously, the one that he's in or the one that he's created for himself is toxic. And Janice said, get him in some programs. Exactly. He needs some programs in his life. And somebody said, okay then. Okay.
Yeah, no, he definitely needs the structure, foundation, routine. He needs programs. He needs all of that. He needs somebody in his life who is willing to actually sit with him every opportunity that he needs. He needs somebody showing him guidance and proper structure to being a Black king in this world and not a Black felon in this world, because he's already on that track.
Practice. Getting on rocking target for making practice. Sure he's at school.
Exactly.
Him in sports, something to channel that energy in something.
He don't need to play sports. He needs to pick up a flute, a trumpet.
I agree.
Something, because sports usually Black parents put their kids in like basketball, football, and stuff like that, and that's too physical. He's already rah enough. He needs to be calmed down. He needs to be calmed down, and because he's hype, he's out there. His nickname is 30 shots.
For real.
Hopefully. Like it's a problem.
30 shots.
That's ridiculous.
30 shots. Deborah said he needs discipline. That's why he needs an outlet. That's positive. That's positive. When you're angry, angry. Let's box. You sad. Let's draw. Give them that motivation. Exactly. There's different things that you can do. He needs an outlet, and he needs somebody that is making sure he knows he's cared about.
Absolutely.
I don't think anybody is really instilling in this boy that he has value and he has worth and that he can be something other than a murderous rapper out here in these streets.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think that what it is too is that us as people of color, we lack a sense of self because of the way that society already paints us. They paint us as thugs. They paint us as felons. They paint us as criminals. So when that's all you're seeing on media and on TV, that's exactly what you're going to imitate, because that's all you see. And it's crazy that TV, social media, and other platforms are raising children today, because as you see, like 9 times out of 10, Lil Rodney doesn't have a parental figure in his life or a role model. So, we got a lot of, Jujus raising little kids. We got a lot of Pookies and Ray Rays raising our children. So jiu-jitsu teaches, Deborah said, jiu-jitsu teaches discipline. He needs to challenge that energy elsewhere. Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But that's why, like, I'm going into trades today, because there's a lot of trades that are out there that our people definitely should get into, so that, because we're good, we're like very like physical people. We like working with our hands and stuff. That's why we get into sports and things like that. But the trade field, they're thirsting for people, and so that's why we're gonna get into that a little bit later. But let's transition into your next topic, G. Transition.
What was my next topic? I had 3. We could talk. So now this 5-year-old girl, she was accidentally killed by a sibling of hers in their home due to the negligence of firearms being left not put away, just being left out for the children to have access to. And in this case, it's a very sad case. One of the siblings of the little girl had accidentally shot her, and the father rushed her to the hospital, dropped her off, and was speeding home. And when he was stopped by the officers, he said that he had to get home to the other children, and the father was arrested for child negligence that ended in death, reckless driving, something that had to do with the police. Hold on, pull up the article.
Yes, ma'am. Here we go.
Yeah.
We're gonna dig into this article.
Read that. But y'all, if you have guns in your home and you have children in your home also, you need to have a safe for that gun that they do not have access to at all. So yeah, 5-year-old accidentally shot and killed by another child. Go ahead and scroll down.
Shooting ranges. I forget how young he is.
You want one of us to read it, sis?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. You want to read it, Mark? 'Cause, you know, I
Sure.
be struggling.
I'll start at this. Merce police. So
Yeah.
Merce police say a 5-year-old girl was accidentally shot and killed by a young boy inside a home on Thursday afternoon. The shooting happened at about 2:30 p.m. in the area.
You can skip all that, Mark, and scroll down to after the father's picture.
Okay.
Oh, damn. Dad
So this is the father. He was arrested.
Damn. Okay.
Okay, so he was seen speeding away after leaving her there and led the police on a short pursuit. When he pulled over, officers say he told them he was trying to get back to the other children at the home. He has been arrested and booked on charges of child endangerment, which resulted in the death of a child, felony recklessness driving, or felony reckless driving while evading officers, and prohibited person in possession of firearms and ammunition. Officers say this tragedy serves as an unfortunate reminder for firearm owners to secure their weapons and keep them out of the reach from children.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's sad.
This one just really, it just hurt my heart because you know, most of the time I feel like parents do the best that they can. They do what they know to do, but sometimes it's not enough. In situations like this, like, you know, there's obviously multiple children in the home, young children in the home, and I'm not saying I'm not against guns. I am against just having them out laying around, not put up, not on safety, having them loaded, bullet in the chamber. I'm against all of that when there's children present and it's an unsafe environment. You make it unsafe for your children at that point, and they see you with it. They don't see the danger of it because they see their parents with it. So it's like they don't correlate the danger in it, and it ended in baby girl accidentally being killed by her sibling. So now the sibling who pulled the trigger, the brother, he got to deal with that for the rest of his life. He accidentally killed his sister.
Damn.
Absolutely. Well, I feel like you know, in every case you should, you know, keep your guns away, you know, safe, locked up. You know, also take the time to educate your children if you're gonna have guns in your house. So if you know, especially as they get older and you know they're able to reach certain stuff, you definitely have to keep your firearms away. But I was taught to use, you know, rifles, hunting, handguns, stuff like that. So I'm definitely not opposed to, you know, children learning about it. But
Right.
at the end of the day, you know, education is everything because they clearly thought it was a toy. You know, they see toy guns, doing anything. Okay, this is a real one. This is really about to be fatal.
Right. And I also want to say, as a young little kid, my great grandfather was in the military and we had guns all over my great grandparents' house. We lived with my great grandparents. That's a whole nother story of why we're there. But my great grandpa had guns all over the house, and it was never ever really taught to me, but I always knew that guns were dangerous, and guns till this day still scare me. Like you know, eventually, you know, it kind of brings into the idea of, do I want a gun in my house? Of course, you know, I want to have some form of protection for my family, because at the end of the day, a lot of times we're not safe around people that look like us, because we rob each other, beat each other, rape each other, and do all that to each other the most than any other race that does it to us. So it's sad that we have to protect us from us. And I hope, you know, in the near or distant future, we could get it together so that we don't have to have guns, because in other places like in London, guns are completely banned. No, police don't carry a gun, and civilians can't have guns. You can have a knife or pepper spray, and even if you stab someone to death, the like crime is very minimal, and you don't see kids walking around stabbing each other over there. So I'm just kind of like, there has to be a higher level of
America the Great.
Rodney.
huh?
America the Great.
Babylon. Well, I'm not gonna say that, but
they
anyway,
definitely don't got no Lil Rodneys running around in London.
Definitely. So that is a good way to, I guess, segue into the next topic. What you got for us?
Oh, this next one. Hold on. Well, okay, sorry. Danny, I just said, but people still kill regardless or not.
Of course. I mean, I'm not opposed to guns.
Yeah.
Me neither.
I'm not opposed to guns, but at the same time, I just think about like what life would be like if guns weren't in the picture. Sure. Because again, like Black people, we're always the ones that are criminalized. And when the government wanted to take us down or to make our communities horrible, what did they do? They poured drugs and guns into our communities, because at the end of the day, they know that because of like, you know, all kind of outlying factors, like we're going to take our anger that is basically being inflicted on us by people that don't look like us, and because of the lack of power that we got in our hands, we're gonna do it to one another. So I'm just like, Lil Rodney pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie, 30 shots, like
me too.
Together and stuff like that just kind of goes into the whole topic of a person being accidentally shot. He could have accidentally shot himself and other people. He had a gun against his head like this with a picture. At the age of 12. Come on now, dog.
Yep.
Nah, definitely.
Deborah said, listen, I'm still mad they can have guns, which is legal, but I can't have brass knuckles. Girl, right. And Janice says, without guns, people will learn to throw knives.
They need to learn to throw their hands. A lot of kids would be embarrassed.
Right.
Would be embarrassed without guns, man. I lost homies that chose to
fight. What Pop Smoke say? Because I know how to shoot. Right. And I know how to fight. I know how to fight. You feel me? Like, yeah, I may know how to shoot, but I know how to fight. I could protect myself without a gun. I don't need a gun to protect myself. But in the day and age that we live in,
people just ain't fighting.
It's definitely wanted.
It's like that scene in Friday when Craig was gonna get that gun to go shoot Debo with. And his dad was like, nah, son, put the gun down, son.
You hear me?
You have your hands, son. You're
more of a man if you could fight. You're more of a man if you could throw them hands. Right. Honestly.
Right. But let's get into the next topic, y'all, because
this next topic is kind of, off subject of the guns or whatever, but it's just interesting to me because I was looking up at my HBCU news, and it after the debate last night, I don't know if y'all watched it.
A little bit.
I didn't.
Yeah. I'm not even going to speak on it. But after the debate last night, it just got me thinking, who are people voting for? Trump and Biden are the two big candidates or whatever. And I think they both are crappy ass candidates for America. I think they both suck. Both of them. They are both racist, not just Trump. Biden is also racist. But this little article, it kind of just talks about how Biden had made a comment saying that he started off his college educational career at Delaware University, which is an HBCU, a historically Black college and university. And the university came back saying, nah, Biden ain't never came here. He gave a couple speeches twice, but that's it. He's never actually been here as a student. And so I just wanted to, show this article a little bit, just so, people know, like, who are y'all voting for? Know these people y'all are voting for. I mean, like, Janice, so how do you pick? James said, how do you pick the lesser of two evils? I look at the topics that you're voting for. You're not just there's specific topics on the ballot that you're voting for. There's specific things that are being voted for. I mean, some people are completely against Trump, some people are completely against Biden. I'm completely against both. So you to pick the lesser of your two evils, focus on the topics of what you're voting for.
The crazy thing about it is we think that our votes matter when it comes to the presidential election, but they don't. It's the electoral college that actually elects the president. Because, I mean, if you think about it, if this was a pure democracy, Hillary Clinton would have won, like, in 2016, but that's not the case because the electoral college was like, nah, man, we're going to do what's in our best interest, which I think they're a bunch of Klans members.
America's not ready for a woman president.
But either way, if America wasn't, Hillary Clinton got 3 million more votes than Donald Trump actually did. So it's not that America's not ready. It's that the people that are quote unquote representing people of color actually don't have people of color's best interests at heart. They don't really care how we think or how we feel. And that's the reality of the situation, in my opinion. But let's get into this article, sis. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
I definitely heard good cases for both candidates. I'm not gonna lie. And I've heard cases that oppose the other. This is definitely the most difficult time to
Right here, go down.
Right here?
Go down. Go down. Right here. This
our age group hardly vote.
Starting with Joseph R. Biden.
Okay. Joseph R. Biden declared last year on the campaign trail that he began his academic career at Delaware State University, a historical Black college, a claim that the school refutes. Carlos Holmes, director of the news service for Delaware State, said that Mr. Biden was never a student, although he has made appearances twice on campus for commencement speeches at the public university in Dover, one of the nation's historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs. Vice President Biden did not attend DSU, said Holmes in a Thursday email. However, he was the commencement keynote speaker in 2003 and 2016. And during the former, he was awarded an honorary doctoral degree. Want me to keep going?
You can skip that second part and just read the last one, the last paragraph.
What did you say?
I said you can skip the second part and read the last paragraph.
Okay. I got started out of an HBCU, Delaware State. Now, I don't want to hear anything negative about Delaware State, Mr. Biden told the audience, drawing laughter as shown on video. They're my folks, Mr. Biden, who went to win the Southern Carolina primary on his way to the 2020 Democratic presidential nomination, has been long accused of making up the DSU connection, but the university denial appears to erase any doubt.
So yeah, that's just that. I just wanted to show that. Just don't, a lot of people listen to one video or one debate or one commencement speech or whatever and take what they hear and run with it rather than searching for the facts and actually doing the research on it and figuring out who these people are. I mean, like, for real, y'all, have y'all researched your presidential candidates? Have you researched these people? Like, have you researched their speeches? Have you got the facts behind the things that they say? Like, those are the things that we're supposed to be doing when considering who you're going to vote for the president of the United States. Like, for the past 4 years, I ain't had no president. I can't speak for nobody else, but I personally have not had a president for the past 4 years. Y'all might have, but
I've never had a president. This isn't my country, so
I've kind of just been here.
I'm a citizen. I ain't no citizen, so I'm over here trying to make it work.
Yeah,
and websites that definitely fact check like everything after every debate. So like even if you don't want to do it yourself, you know, there's definitely websites that will help you, you know, guide you whichever you're looking for. So, you know, definitely look on that. But that's crazy. I definitely thought that Delaware was a fact. That's nuts.
Because it's on Google. If you Google his name and where he went to school at, Delaware is on there. And I'm like, okay, so is he like, does Google, is he playing Google or something?
For real, because
like,
that's crazy.
That's funny, y'all. Look, don't believe everything Google tells you.
Google's a liar, man.
But it's like, wow.
Man.
Like for the world to see though.
For the world to see. They be lying. But we're going to go ahead and segue into our next, because we might run a little bit over today, y'all. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know because we're covering a lot today. But, okay. So I'm going to do my article, which is somebody got shot in the eye. Like his eye almost got taken out by the police because they said that he was a protesting, but he wasn't. And that kind of draws up the question that I would love for y'all to answer, which is, huh? Yes, sir. Which is, are protesters actually peaceful? And does that justify someone getting shot in the eye and blinding them if they were participating in protesting? Because everybody be like, my First Amendment right. And that's basically, you know, what they're trying to say. But yes. Anyway, so we're going to dig into the Denver Post. The Denver Post, it's a bunch of propaganda because when I was reading this, I was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. And then when you hear the dude's actual his actual, the words out of his mouth, he was not saying any of the stuff that they were saying in this article, which I think is like misrepresentation.
I have a question. Was this student who got hit, was he a black or brown student?
He was white.
Oh, okay.
But it kind of draws into a video that I'm going to pull up of our people out there rioting and looting and stuff. And, you know, we go 10 times harder than anybody. Right. So, you know, we have to do the most. Look at this man's face. He got shot in the face. There's blood on the ground and all that. So if they're shooting him like that, imagine how they doing us. Because they never do their own people super dirty. Anyway, we're going to, I don't know if I could get out of this penny thing. But
hopefully bear with us.
If not, it's fine. Oh, here we go. No. It's all good. I just wanted to show that picture. And then that's going to kind of be a good segue into this video to show that it's an actual thing with this dude in his face. I feel so bad for him in a way. Kind of. I got to throw that disclaimer out there. Kind of. We don't endorse this video. At all. I don't even know what it's about. Wind and solar energy. John Hickenlooper. Oh, I don't even know what's going on with the politics. I don't vote. Anyway.
Man may end up losing an eye after being hit by a projectile during the first weekend of protests.
He says he wasn't looking for trouble. He was just walking to his car, and he spoke to Denver 7's Gary Brode, who joins us live near the Capitol where it happened. Gary?
Jack Feldman tells me on May 30th, he was leaving his friend's apartment right in this area of Grant and Colfax. He says as he was walking to his car, that's when he saw a truck full of Denver police officers turning the corner. Moments later, he was hit directly in the eye.
The truck had come around the corner, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Jax Feldman was in a crowd near the Capitol when he says police fired projectiles.
It literally hit me directly in the eye.
It was night 3 of the protests in Denver.
There were people helping me get off the street. My friend called the ambulance, and people were getting out of there. It was panic.
Feldman may have been near the protest, but says he wasn't protesting.
I was just a normal civilian walking down the street.
Feldman says he was leaving a friend's house that night. Walking to his car is when he saw police.
I wasn't doing anything. They didn't tell me that I was doing anything or to stop doing anything. And then there was no warning.
The 21-year-old aspiring chef was rushed to the hospital and taken into surgery to try to save his eye.
Really no chance that I'll be able to see out of it again.
All I'm gonna say is he got of all these settlements going on, he has a good case for to get some money, basically. And you know he's gonna get it because he's white. And again, if they don't respect us at all and they're doing their own people like that, how do you think they're gonna do us?
Well, they've been doing us like that. I have no empathy or sympathy for him at all. Whether he was protesting or not, you hear so many cases where Black people are doing absolutely nothing at all and are beaten by the police and are killed by the police. It happens every single day. So just because he wasn't doing nothing, you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. We're always in the wrong place at the wrong time because of the color of our skin. So, I mean, it sucks. Yeah, boo-hoo. Cry a river out of that one eye, build a bridge and get over that shit, because we go through this all the time and we don't get to make settlements. We don't get to make settlements, and if we do, we don't win
at all.
We don't win. So I have no sympathy, no empathy, no care at all for this white boy at all. Baby, you should have been aware of your surroundings. You seen the police cars? Your white privilege made you feel safe and walking. Your white privilege made you feel safe and walking in all that ruckus. A Black person would have seen all that police and be like, yeah, homie, I might need to stay the night because there's a whole lot of going on outside. And you feel me? I can't get caught up in that. So I might need to stay. You was coming from a friend's house. I might need to stay at that friend's house and call it safe. But his white privilege made him feel safe, and walking out of his friend's house after seeing the police, multiple police trucks and cars hit the corner, after seeing multiple of them, he still felt safe enough to walk outside and walk down the street and be a regular civilian. Oh well, you got shot in the eye. You can't see no more. Emmett Till was beaten to death and both of his eyes was out of his sockets. I have no sympathy for you, baby, and I hope you don't get that settlement.
That part. So I definitely agree with what she's saying. Nothing that she's saying is wrong. The reason why I brought it up is because watch, as this thing progresses, we may hope the worst for him and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, guess what?
He gonna get it all because he's white.
Exactly. And that's kind of why I went into just to show you what happens when you're not, quote unquote, not affiliated, but obviously y'all seen the picture. He was affiliated with that protest. He had on a whole megaphone and everything, and he's trying to put his hands in his pocket, look all American, like a American. What do you call American? Americanized.
Like Deborah said, guilty by association. You're guilty by association. You're guilty by even being there, you know? And it's like Gadiel has said earlier, he said, A, nobody should be shot in the eye. B, protesters are peaceful. C, there are malicious people faking to be protesters and blaming it on Black people, which is very true. Which is very true. There's always white people who join our protests that usually start off peaceful, and they're malicious and they start the ruckus and the riots, and then because I can't lie to you, we think that shit's fun.
We do. And this video that I'm about to show y'all, viewer discretion is advised, because these black people, they wilding out, man. And this lady, I don't know, she's just basically saying no protest is peaceful and yada yada yada. And you see black people jumping people, and I'm just like, they just get one clip, maybe 2 or 3 clips, and they blow it way out of proportion.
All the time.
Way out of proportion. So we about to get into this video, y'all. Viewers' discretion is advised. You'll see it on the page, and we'll get back into it because G, you had a lot of very good, valid points. Don't feel sorry for these people, because at the end of the day, when stuff goes on with our community, I guarantee you, they be like, bruh, I'm so sorry you went through that, and they go home behind closed doors and they be laughing, because even what was that dude's name, Fred Hampton, they have skin, purses made out of his skin and stuff from back in the day. It's horrible. I think that's insane.
And before you show the clip real quick, Deborah said, just like if I was hanging with a bunch of gang members and the police walk up, they assuming I'm with them. Period.
Okay, here we go. The following content has been identified by the YouTube community as inappropriate or offensive to some audiences.
I wanted to talk about the mass gaslighting we've seen in the past 2 weeks. The left love to redefine words. Racist, not peaceful. This is not peaceful.
You're not giving no context.
That was from California. This is from
no context.
Antifa
He ain't just
Central
walking
in
out not doing nothing.
That ain't even black people.
Stop! He's done. Keep it on.
The full video shows the activist continuing to hector the man even as he lays bleeding on the road. So peaceful. Also in Portland, this man was bashed for standing peacefully with the American flag.
Because we're done with people like not having an opinion.
That's a protest to our Why are there people even
This
out
from
there?
Dallas was not peaceful.
Haymakers.
Oh, he laying there like that.
That man had made the stupid mistake of trying to defend shops armed with a sword. He was first pelted with rocks, and as you can see, he then charged at one of his attackers with the sword before the mob got him and bashed him unconscious, repeatedly stomping on his head and then robbing him. He was then attacked by the media for instigating the violence for turning up with a sword. And this was Dave Dawn, a former St. Louis police captain who had served the community for 38 years.
I think he's black.
The 77-year-old grandfather was shot dead trying to defend a store from protesters and looters. These are just a few examples of the violence. These are not peaceful protests. You don't have more than a dozen people killed, many more bashed. You don't have businesses and homes burned to the ground in peaceful protests. Imagine for a second if Trump supporters were involved in mass protests that saw the sort of lawlessness we've seen in recent days. You think the media would be falling over themselves to portray the protests as mainly peaceful? Because take to the streets in Black Lives Matter protests. Australians who have watched their livelihoods destroyed in the name of public health are entitled to ask why there's one rule for them and another for race-obsessed activists.
Nah.
Oh yes, y'all. Y'all seen black people out there showing out, man. We don't just show up, we show out sometimes. And it be these white Antifa people that be hyping us up, man.
Nah, I think I have a few things to say about this. This is crazy because I've been to multiple protests. George Floyd, just for the sake of this argument. But when you approach a peaceful protest with guns and then all like you're suited for battle, that automatically installs some type of conflict. You feel me? Some type of, like, I don't know what word I'm trying to look for, but it's almost like you know something bad's gonna happen. Like people go approach the George Floyd protest just expecting for their voices to be heard, but y'all are meeting them with these guns and stuff like this. This causes all that tension. When we're out here saying Black Lives Matter and then you're in front of me with the American flag saying all lives matter, that's a protest for a protest. Why are you even out there? You're just out there for conflict at that point. You feel me? You just gonna stand in their face saying all lives matter with an American flag. What did you expect to happen? You know, we've been punched in our mouth year after year after year. Every time we're gonna talk about another police killing of a black man. Unjustified. And what we supposed to go out there and do? No justice, no peace for what? It's been no justice, and there's still no peace.
Never been no justice.
It's never been no judge. You know, when I was watching the When They See Us about the Central Park 5, the prosecutor in there, she one of the boys' lawyers asked her, like, you know, I thought it was gonna be fair. And she said, what does that word even mean? And he said something about justice. That was his exact quote, something about justice. And she said, it's no longer about justice. It's about politics. And politics are not fair.
Especially in the court system.
So it's like, you know, with me and protest, Black Lives Matter is a joke. We had a comment that Black Lives Matter is a joke. It's propaganda. And it, you know, them protests, thinking back to this previous summer 2020, baby, this is going down in history. Okay, summer of 2020, like so many riots and police killings. And if we're being honest, most of those riots were not started by the Black protesters
or the looting.
That it wasn't started by the Black protesters. Now, did they join in? Yeah, because monkey sees, monkey do. And, you know, some people have weak minds, and so they're going to join in on that. But most of it wasn't started by us. We didn't start it. We weren't the first ones to throw the brick or the fire missile into the buildings. That wasn't us to start it. It's the white people that start that shit. Keep y'all's asses out of our protest if y'all not going to be peaceful. And that's real. Stay away.
Hey,
Stay away.
You're not going to support and be there for the cause, you shouldn't even be out there.
You need to be there. You need, if the only words that need to be coming out of your mouth is no justice, no peace, prosecute the police. That's all y'all need to be saying. Y'all don't need to be saying Black Lives Matter or anything like that. No justice, no peace, prosecute the police. Because whatever y'all say, it doesn't help us. It hinders us. It hurts us. So just showing up, if you show up and in your mind, you're like, oh yeah, this is going to be fun. We're going to riot. We're going to lose. Stay your ass at home. That's not our goal.
The thing is too, like we have to remember what we're doing out there from the get-go and why we're out there. Either somebody's lives just been lost. The thing is, we all have to be on one accord. And that's what happens. A lot of times our causes, Black Lives Matters, gets polluted by other causes. The LGBTQ, that whole movement. Blue Lives Matter somehow ends up out there because it's like the blue.
That shouldn't even be a movement. That should not be a movement at all. Blue Lives Matter should not be a movement. You chose to be a police officer. I was born Black.
Right. Exactly. And I got to snap on that one because that was a good one. That was a good one.
I'm sorry, you just and to police officers who have, you know, a problem with getting hurt on the job, baby, you signed up for that. You wanted to be a part of that. That's your job. It's in your job description.
You shouldn't be scared either.
You shouldn't be scared. What are you scared for? You're the one with the gun and the license to kill.
And the government's going to back you up always, 100%.
Man.
Always.
Man. But
I only talk about
that whole video was a whole bunch of propaganda. But I'm going to close this out with talking about opportunities and trades because we're on a roll right now with the issues that we're bringing up. Because a lot of times, as we said before in a previous podcast, when these conversations are brought up and there is like dialogue that's happening by people, officials in governments and police and military, even sometimes, we're not at the table. People of color aren't at the table to speak up for their people. And so unlike those people, we're gonna be open and honest with y'all about stuff that's going on with us. And if we do bring up white people like we did today, it's to show y'all how they get treated versus how we get treated. Because it wouldn't have been no pellet or no paper rubber bullet. It would have been a real bullet if that was a person of color. Like, for real.
And the damn for sure wouldn't be no settlement going on.
It wouldn't have made the news.
It wouldn't, man, Mark, say that shit louder. Man, it wouldn't have made the news.
Come on.
Okay.
It wouldn't have.
Yes, as we segue one more time, Oh wait,
We're gonna segue twice more, but it's okay. We're gonna segue to Mark's discussion. Like I said earlier, we might run a little bit over because we're covering a lot today. So just yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like my coworker said, and like I stated previously, we have another police. We have some more police injustice. I don't know if you guys have heard this story, but the story of Marcellus. I can't get his last name to save my life. It's it's but I know the overall story is just another unarmed black man was killed by the police and then injured another young black woman.
Shot her in the stomach. Yep.
Yeah, in the process. So that quotation right there. So, mama, they just shot us for nothing. Illinois police officer fatally shoots black teen and injures woman.
Ooh, boy.
Man.
Okay.
I'll start right there.
Okay.
So a black teen was killed and a woman was injured Tuesday night after a Waukegan, police officer shot into a car that allegedly reversed toward him. Marcellus Stennett, 19, died of injuries, according to the preliminary autopsy report released Thursday. This is truly a tragedy, Lake County coroner Dr. Howard Cooper said in the press release. And the incident happened just before midnight Tuesday when an officer approached a suspicious vehicle. Notice those quotes. Waukegan Police Officer Commander Edgar Navarro told reporters Wednesday as the officer was conducting his investigation, the vehicle fled and was spotted moments later by another officer who got out his car to approach the vehicle, Navarro said. So the officer exited his vehicle and the vehicle that he was investigating began to reverse towards the officer. The officer then pulled out his duty weapon and fired into the vehicle, Navarro said.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all I was good at that, but so just from what like that article stated, like the only thing clear we have on the vehicle that it was suspicious and reversing. And now this man has lost his life. The woman he was with now gonna have to live with that trauma and herself. It's ridiculous at this point. It honestly is. How do y'all feel about that, though?
I think that that's crazy. And again, like as he stated, there's a bunch of trauma that's being inflicted on us as people of color. Our color and how we're born, melanated, the best. We're better. We're good in all areas. And for some reason, that pushes a lot of hate. For some reason, we're more officers are intimidated by us. And I just think that honestly, like this man was in a car. He is backing up. A lot of information is missing. Did they have their lights on? Were they flagging him down? What was going on? There's really no context as to why lethal force had to be used on a young man. He was only 19, and there's so much good that he could have done for the community, and there's so much that we never know that he could have reached. He was a young person that had potential, and the police decided to end his life early. And honestly, I think that all these police that do that do stuff like this, they need to spend the rest of their life in prison. But they always have like some reason that justifies, what they're doing. It makes
always they always have a reason as to why they felt justified in their murderous actions. Y'all are murderers. Y'all are cold-blooded murderers. Some officers have so many bodies under their belt and still get to go home to their families.
Exactly.
And that's not cool by any means necessary. How is that protecting and serving the community?
Not my community.
Not my community. Like y'all deserve to y'all give innocent people the death penalty. Innocent people get sentenced to life in prison all the time, and yet we have murderous police officers out here in every district, every state, coast to coast, who have murderous hearts and spirits and choose to be police officers because of that. Some police officers choose to be a police officer because they know they get that license to kill, and they already have a murderous spirit. So it's like, let me be a police officer, and so that I can legally get my bodies.
Exactly.
Black men are an endangered species. Janice said, she said, Black men are at risk. The only way to escape it is to keep God's laws. I feel you said.
That's it.
100%.
And just
all of them, though, not some of them, because sometimes what happens is people pick and choose what laws they're going to follow and what laws they're not going to follow. And that's the thing. With God, there's no picking and choosing. But that's a whole nother thing, because I'm deep in the Bible, deep in the scripts. You know, I be in the scripts reloaded. So that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. If you are keeping all of God's commandments, you got to keep them all. It's not like the regular law. I can choose to break a couple of the government laws. You feel me? I might not stop all the way at the stop sign. I might not stop at the yellow light. I might speed through it. Those are laws that people break on a daily basis. But if you are keeping on with God, you can't pick and choose which laws you want to keep and when you're going to keep them.
Exactly. And just real quick, just if y'all are unfamiliar with the term qualified immunity, I suggest the time to Google it for yourself. That's kind of what the basis of what we're talking about. The killing legally.
Mm-hmm.
But as I segue
down, I'm like, okay, hold up.
Yeah. But yeah, as I segue, we just got some news, you know, in Colorado, the wildfires. I'm sure most of the people who reside here are aware. But these fires are still happening. And, you know, unfortunately, since August, Colorado has seen 5 of like just the worst on record. So it's
it's bad. It's bad. And I, being from Denver but not living in Denver anymore, I, you know, travel back often. Last couple times I think the last 2 times I was there. I'm like, is there ash falling on me? Because I know it's not snowing in August. I just know it's not snow in August. And that's how bad it was. There was just ash falling from the sky.
Exactly. But yes, I mean, we don't really necessarily have to show the article. This is mostly just a please be safe, y'all. You know, notice what's around y'all. I definitely noticed like a shortness of breath. You feel me? Stuff like that.
Extra dry.
Yeah.
For no reason. I'm like, I'm not even running or doing nothing, but my throat is killing me.
Exactly.
And y'all got to remember that Denver has dry air anyways, you know, so with some fires, it's just making it even more worse. And pay attention to y'all's weather apps. The weather app will tell you when the air is unhealthy for you to be out in. So limit your outside time on those days. Like, seriously pay attention to, if you don't have the weather app, get it. The weather app will tell you. Y'all, I'm gonna show you. Where's the camera? If you can see.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so this is your air quality right now in Denver. Your air quality is moderate, and I'll show y'all where I'm at here in Missouri. My air quality is good, and I'll also show you. You know, I travel to many places, so I'll show you. I have Dallas on my weather app. Dallas is good.
I wonder why Colorado's weather is so, or the air quality is so horrible. And I think that could be pollution, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. As the box state, Colorado is so polluted. So polluted. We're the box state. We're closed in. We're surrounded by other states. So we get their pollution also. That's what has to be remembered. We get their shit also. So, or I can't say we. I'm not there anymore.
That
Y'all
making me want to move back to either Phoenix. It's the same thing. It's low elevation. It's hot all the time. 116 degrees in the summer, but the air quality is better for some reason. But not really, because the tap water tastes like
yeah, and that's so crazy about Colorado. Colorado has the best tap water. And I've been to many different states. Many.
There's a lot of fresh water in Colorado.
Yeah, baby.
The South has that humid, good air that's good for our hair. Because this air out here be taking, or this weather out here be taking the moisture.
It takes the moisture. Yup. It takes the moisture all the way.
Castor oil, y'all. Get that black.
You said move to the South, baby. Move to the South.
Your hair but bad for your clothes. I'm trying to tell you, that humidity be crucial on your clothes.
And that humidity will kick your butt, okay?
And the mosquitoes. Is that what you just said?
No, nobody said mosquitoes.
There's
some gangster mosquitoes. Mosquitoes.
There's all types of bugs. You know, it's crazy. Me and my mom were just talking about how, you know, in Colorado, there's a lot of stuff that we find weird that other people do, but most other states do the same stuff. We're the oddball. Colorado's the oddball, you know, and I think that's okay. But like most states are comfortable with roaches because they have them all over the place. Colorado, we're not comfortable. We're not comfortable.
Let me tell you about these roaches. This is we kind of going off topic a little bit, but it's okay. When I lived in, I'm from Phoenix. We got these itty bitty little tiny roaches they're like apartment roaches. They're horrible. They'll be like, they come in litters and they populate fast. And then we got sewer roaches. Sewer roaches fly and all kind of stuff. When I was in Alabama, though, I never really saw roaches like that. But sewer roaches are worse than sewer rats. They fly on you. They be like, worse than sewer rats. Oh my God.
Flying roaches. We have flying roaches when I lived in Louisiana, and baby.
I'm telling you.
We kind of got off subject there a little bit, y'all, but you know, just be safe with the wildfires, be safe with driving, be safe with being outside in general. Make sure y'all are buying water when you go to the store, stay hydrated.
Maybe
wash your hands. We're still in epidemic. Wear your mask.
Yes, but your mask moving up. I got one more thing to bring to the people. One more thing.
Oh yes, I forgot.
So we're gonna talk about opportunities because we don't have Janice here. You know, our opportunity segment has been kind of cut short, but I did try to look up some local opportunities here in Colorado, and I have a couple of videos. They're not that funny, but you know, bear with me. It's hard to find comedic relief about trade schools. So we're gonna get into trade schools.
How much is a degree really worth to you? With rising to
okay. All praises. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get into this video real quick. Share the audio. All right, here we go.
Tuition costs and overwhelming amounts of student debt, it raises the question, is attending a four-year university really worth it? Or is attending a vocational school just as promising for your career? We came to an automotive trade school here in New York to talk to their students.
Brown people in there, y'all. Young money, not the record label. But still.
Within 7 months, it's compacted. It's pretty fast-paced.
Vocational school can take as little as 4 months for beauty school or 2 years to be a dental hygienist.
Okay. We're being tested on all levels, not only theory, but the hands-on.
This is great if you're a visual learner and joining the workforce, you already have the skills in your tool belt.
The con about a trade school is that the world doesn't take it as seriously.
The prestige level of a trade degree as compared to a 4-year degree.
The starting salary may be competitive, but down the line, it can cap your growth by lacking a bachelor's degree when you try to move up to a managerial position.
Okay.
The total cost for attending a state school this year was $9,500 a year.
True.
Versus the 8-month certified technician program here, $16,000 total, and a median pay of $37,000. That's not quite as much as the median salary out of a state school, $42,000, but some vocational programs pay more. Dental hygienists make $71,000. Certifications can provide a higher salary starting out in some fields, but the benefit does have its limits. Before deciding on trade school, ask yourself, is it a career that you understand? And do you know what you're getting into?
All right. So yes, that's just one example of how like trade school is better, especially if you're a visual learner, hands-on learner. Us as people of color, we love doing stuff with our hands. And so I definitely want to bring that out. I have, I'm gonna try to, let me see which video this is. No. Okay. Again, we don't endorse any of these videos, and yes, I just definitely want to dig into this because, again, us as people of color, we like to work with our hands. If Lil Rodney had some stuff to do with his hands other than play with guns and stuff like that, maybe his situation will be better.
Yeah.
Y'all missed that segment, please go back and watch it. We're going to watch this skit real quick. And yes, and then y'all could definitely chime in. I'm just trying to blaze through this a little bit because, we already running over.
Yeah. Thank you for staying with us, though.
Staying with the fam.
On me.
Fam. Okay. Let's do it. Okay, let me unmute.
Hey, Steve. Oh, hey, have you eaten yet? Because if not, I was going to order a pizza. I can't, man. Come on, I'm buying.
No, don't do that. Don't. Just because I'm a lawyer doesn't mean I need your pity, okay? You can just stop rubbing it in my face.
Are we going to do this again?
Oh, look at me. I'm Tom. I learned a skilled trade that's in demand, and I don't have a massive pile of student loan debt. F you. You're not better than me.
I didn't say anything remote.
No, you just waltz in here with your steel-toed boots and your oil-stained coveralls, smelling like gasoline and success. Yeah, I've got an Ivy League doctorate. I'm still a human being, you smug piece of shit.
Steve.
I know you and your mechanic friends laugh at me behind my back. Oh, there goes Mr. College Guy, who borrowed $150 grand to be a contract attorney, reviewing documents for $22 an hour. You don't know what it's like, Tom. You have no idea.
Steve, do you know why I became a mechanic?
Yeah, so you can get on your high horse and look down at everybody.
Okay, we don't want to hear sad story. But yes, that goes into a little bit more of like, how trades are better than, actually having a college degree. I have a college degree. I'm 25 with a college degree and can't find a job in the field that I got my degree in. I'm only $5,000 in debt, but that was for personal reasons, not because I needed it for school. I was full ride when I was in college. But y'all, when I say it's hard to find a job after you graduate.
And most people who have a college degree, after graduating, they can't find a job in their degree. It's hard to. Most people get a college degree and never even use it because they couldn't find a job in their degree field, or they end up going back to school to get a different degree to find a job in that one, so.
Or we even be going into fields that are in high demand. So it's like the reason why we can't find a job is because like it's already filled by these people who are, they might not be smarter than us or anything, but they had the money to go to Ivy League schools and get those type of accolades, you feel me, that the jobs look for. But I like what James said, people should ask themselves, how do they want to live, not what do they want to do.
Yes.
You feel me? Because as soon as you start understanding that in order to live a certain way, you need to have like a certain job, certain routines, certain stuff like that. You feel me? I like that. I like what
you need a certain income flow. It's about your income flow. In a trade, you go into a trade, you can have various different forms of income coming in because you can use your trade more than one way. But your degree, it has to be specified towards something that your degree is helpful with.
Very true.
So, I cannot go to college and get a let's say I get a physical training degree, and I'm a physical trainer. That's what my degree is in. And now, but I can't go and use that degree to be a doctor.
At all.
You can't do it, you know? So it's like, I don't know. I think trades are very important, especially for our Black men. I mean, Black women too. But if it's not your interest, it's not your interest. But you know, we need mechanics, we need plumbers, we need technicians, we need engineers, we need all of those things. You know, we need construction workers
In high demand too.
Exactly.
Jobs in
And
high
good
demand.
pay. And good pay.
Exactly. And then most trades, you go off and start your own business with it.
Exactly. And that's one of
Generational wealth.
that generational wealth. And I was going to say residual income, because at the end of the day, that's what separates those with an education and those without, is like the form of income that they end up accumulating because of you know, certain types of things. I know me personally, I have a maintenance man. My maintenance man, I pay him per job that he does in my house. I mean, eventually, like imagine when you get a degree, right? You're working for someone. When you work for yourself, you get to kind of set the price of what you're gonna pay, what someone's gonna pay for a service. But when you get a degree, you work for someone, and like the dude said in the video, he got paid $20 an hour. He gets paid hourly rather than getting paid per task that he's doing. And I think that's kind of a move that separates people. They're like, I'm gonna go to college because there's a stigma that's like a college degree is better than actually having a certification in a trade, and that's not the case.
That's not true.
That's not the case.
That's what they want you to believe.
And if people are telling you that, y'all don't believe it. Don't believe the hype that college is the best route for you after high school. Do not believe that hype. College ain't for everybody. It's not.
It's not. And I had to tell my little sister, because she still doesn't even have her diploma or whatever. But she's like, man, I need to get my diploma or whatever so I could go to college, because then I'll be more successful. And I just had to let her know, don't let college be the defining line of what success is, or be the thing that determines what success looks like, because that's not the case. That's a stigma that we have as a people, thinking that we have to go get a white man's education in order to be successful, and be indoctrinated, saying that, you know, all lives matter, we're all equal, when our lives never mattered from the jump street. And I had to go to school to learn that. I was a political science major, and I went to community college, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. But one more thing we have right now is this article I'm trying to do this to.
Real quick in the comments, Deborah said, y'all better check out Mile High Youth Corp, $60 an hour for construction. So that's a little piece to those, you know, watching. If you need something, definitely check that out. It's the Mile High Youth Corp. And then James asked the question. He said, is it better to be 1, an employee, 2, a small business owner, 3, a big business owner, or 4, an investor? My answer to that is, depending on who you are as a person, you might not be able to do a big business. So you might like small better or big better. But I say a small or big business owner and an investor. I feel like you need to be an investor in whatever you do. You definitely invest, because that's how your money grows. And have your own business. If you're more introverted than some, have a small business. If you're more extroverted than some and you can handle dealing with a lot of people working under you, have a big business. You know, when you have a business, it's not you by yourself. You got to hire people to work for you.
Exactly.
You have to deal with that. And you also have to remember that your employees are going to need medical, dental, vision, insurance, like all of that. So having a business, so much goes into it if you have employees as well.
All I'm gonna say is, though, I definitely want to have a nonprofit organization, because I want to have funding and not have to, you know, stress about the business I'm gonna receive, because at the end of the day, I'll have contracts with the government and stuff like that. But that's a whole nother thing. That's just my perspective and how I see things. Cigarettes. Oh, I feel you. Okay. So we're gonna get into.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Just to answer his question, because if you're in the position to invest, you're probably one of those 3 that you mentioned before. You feel me? That's my mindset towards that.
Oh, for me, I didn't answer either. All of the above. I would pick all those, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be working for myself, being an employee for myself. I'm going to have a small business. The Boys and Girls Club started as a small business, but it ended up being global. That's why I said having like a nonprofit that is useful in all states would be something that I would want to do. That therefore it will become a big business, and I would invest into the people that I have working for me. Just like the person that I'm working with now, he invests in all of us, and we have workshops and things like that to better the community. We invest in the community. So I would choose all of those, all of the above. But let's get into this next article, basically to go over the opportunities here in Denver, Colorado. I'm sorry, G, this isn't. I wish this was applicable to Missouri, right?
Oh yeah, no, I don't care.
It's okay. All praises. Okay, let's go down. Okay, right here. Trade schools in Denver. Some of the trade schools in the Denver area might be worth considering to jumpstart your trade career. Here's a sampling of schools and programs for vocational students in Denver. Emily Griffith Technical College is the technical college for trades, industry, and professional academic studies in some of the highest paying vocational careers. Students can expect to receive certificate in highly concentrated technological services such as automotive, graphic information systems, water quality management, and welding. Training certificates at this technical college prepare students for the work field by using hands-on methods. This Denver vocational school even gives you the opportunity to graduate from any of their programs, debt-free. That's key, debt-free. Lincoln Technical Institute is a career training school that has a variety of fields. Students can choose from business and information technology, automotive, health services, and other skilled trades. The diploma, certificate, and associate programs from Lincoln gives students the ability to improve their skills and earn quality workforce education. And so it kind of goes down into it, but you guys should definitely check out rvm.org and just see what's out there. See what's out there to better yourselves and better your life. So fast money ain't good money, like Janice was saying when she was here. We miss you, girl. But yeah.
But yes, so just as we give brief recap, I want to say first, thank you all for joining. But today we covered, just tragic stories of police brutality. We started with, let me first cover Lil Rodney. That's just, man, that's a whole other story. Again, Save Our Children, that has multiple meanings, but this one definitely qualifies. You gotta save them.
Lil Rodney didn't beat the case or do the race. He just got
caught.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
Your guns, your firearms, please keep them away from children. Or if you know they're going to be around them, do your best to educate them, But with that being said, still keep it safe and, keep it far away from children. But don't leave them uneducated and, available. You feel me?
Exactly.
Then we talked about protesters and the Black Lives Matter campaign. Joke and how white people are treated compared to us, the people that live with us. We talked about our opportunities in trades. We talked about our opportunities in trades. Please get out there and find work, find a trade, find something you love to do that's not hurting our community or yourselves. And then finally, we unfortunately talked about some police brutality yet again. And then topped it off with please be safe with these wildfires occurring in Colorado. You feel me? And just safe in general. Wear your hat, hand sanitizer, wash your hands, do all that. But yes, this is the conclusion of our MACM Make a Culture Move podcast. Please tune in Mondays and Fridays. And then we do have Vast Tuesday through Thursday at 7 p.m. So stay tuned for that. 7 p.m.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Exactly.
And follow all of our Facebook pages.
Exactly. We just had a workshop this past week.
Y'all missed it if you wasn't there.
Free cash and a good learning experience.
$40 an hour.
Yeah, shout out Miss Tutu again for the financial literacy. That's another thing we need in our community. But yes, this is the conclusion of our podcast. Please join us again Monday. We love y'all.
Y'all MACM out there.
Y'all MACM out there.
Bye.
Say bye.